Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
And before we hit the Friday song, just found out it's Double Features Mike, and it's their birthday weekend, the Double Features. So happy birthday, guys. And the guys that did that song right there, our house band. Now let's get to it. It's Friday.
I've created a monster, cause nobody wants to see Marshall no more. They want shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shock when I get shocked at the hospital by the doctor when I'm not cooperating. When I'm rocking the table while he's operating. Hey! You waited this long to stop debating, cause I'm back, I'm on the brag and ovulating. I know that you got a job, Miss Cheney, but your husband's heart problem's complicating. So the FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me.
Let's go. It is Friday. After a blizzard situation yesterday, you made it ever so close, so much closer to the weekend. 6 days from Thanksgiving. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and Juan just texted in from Berwyn. When you doing that My Chem song scramble? Once again, at 8 a.m., the My Chemical Romance song scramble. 3 songs, flipped it and reversed it. You figure out all the songs in order. You are in the sold-out Soldier Field of My Chemical Romance. Next year, the sold-out tour with My Chemical Romance. You will be involved. You will be there, free. A great experience. So 8 a.m., put that on your docket there in your phone. And thanks, Juan, from checking in from Berwyn this morning. Now, it's Brian and Kenzie, of course. Kenzie is not in today. And she had something bizarre happen where she has an eye injury. And I think she would really appreciate it. This is not, a joke in any way or form. We always love to rip each other a little bit here and there, but this is rough. And she's really having a hard struggle with this. So she'd appreciate you reaching out and saying, get well soon, I think.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Today, I'll be carrying on Kenzie's spirit. I will be doing as many Kenzieisms as possible. I'll be saying, occur. I'll be complaining about time zones. I'll be hating on eclairs. What are the other defining Kenzie things?
No, that's it.
that's
all
pretty
of them.
much it.
That's it. That's all of them. But yeah, you're going to send her a good little message to get well. It'd be great because we miss her, of course, and we love her. It just reminded me, as a child, I've told this story on the air, that my brother Steve held me down and poked me in the eye. Now, it wasn't an accidental eye poke. He held me down, like putting his forearm on my chest and throat area. Yeah. This is when the only time I was smaller than him. Then I got bigger than him, and he never did that again, let me tell you.
You manifested yourself into becoming a big guy.
You're damn right. You can be 6'4" and 1/4 if you manifest it. That's what I did. But he then stuck his finger right into my eye, and what that caused was us driving to SeaWorld in Cleveland with me crying the whole time. And I was 18 years old, by the way. I was crying the whole time.
I just celebrated my 30th birthday.
And with four boys in the car and my dad doing that drive move with one hand on the wheel and then swinging his arm over the back seat to try to hit my brother Steve for poking me in the eye. You're ruining SeaWorld. And then we finally get there after a long, many-hour drive. And my dad looks at me and he goes, well, can you see? Should have asked me this before the trip started.
Should have.
And I said, no, I can't see. He goes, well, none of us are going to SeaWorld then. So we turned around and drove home.
And you ruined the family vacation that way.
Oh, Steve ruined it. I want that to be clear to the record. People do think I broke it. That I ruined the vacation. It's talked about in many circles how I ruined that vacation.
Well, you're the one that couldn't see.
That's right. But if I didn't get my eye held down and poked into it, we would have went to SeaWorld and saw Shamu.
Yeah, but if you would have had better eyes, you still would have been able to see.
You think my eyes could stop an eye poke?
Well, if you wanted it bad enough, they could have.
I guess I could have manifested that. And I had to wear an eye patch for 3 months. And this is before Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp, so it wastle cool to wear an eye patch.
I would argue it still isn't cool.
The abuse I took for wearing an eye patch in grade school for 3-4 months. So I understand what Kenzie's going through right now, and it's rough. It's one of the worst things that can happen to you, something to your eye.
Yeah, that's not good.
So thoughts to Kenzie today. We will move forward, as we said, with a fact that makes your brain go. Just coming up here at 6:30, too.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101. 101.
Brian and Kenzie, Q101. Time for a fact that makes your brain go. And here we go. Staying with the Thanksgiving theme as it's 6 days away. And this involves the sides like yesterday. We learned that Illinois, green bean casserole, and also Indiana, Wisconsin, and nearby states all think that's, well, it was the most Googled side, meaning people are probably looking for recipes to make the best green bean casserole. Shocking, right? Well, this also involves sides. Now, this will be percentages of what the second best, or I should say the first side you will go to after you eat the turkey. And then we'll go down with percentages of like the ranking of all the sides. What do you go for first after the turkey? So I'll just give you this. 84% of the people plan to have turkey on the table for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That might not be shocking. Although, I believe myself and you, Case, are not having turkey for Thanksgiving this year, so we're part of that 16%.
Yeah, we're part of the minority. Feels good. Feels good.
It does feel good.
If it were up to me, I would never have turkey on Thanksgiving. I would only do ham.
Well, ham is for Christmas.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I think there's a song called that.
I don't think so.
I think Pat Benatar did it.
How do you think that song goes?
No, her song is Hell is for Children. Ham is for Christmas. I could do a parody song on that. I'm going to work on that. Put a note on that.
Yeah.
But I want turkey, but we're going to my mom's, and she said, well, have some filet mignon my mom wants. Hey, I'm not gonna argue with that. Mm-hmm. You make some filet mignon for us? Perfect. And then you go with your family to a restaurant.
We do.
You won't say what the restaurant is.
We go to a restaurant. That's all that needs to be known.
I'd like people to guess what the restaurant is, because he won't tell us.
Oh, look, the text line's flooded with Burger King all of a sudden.
Well, you won't tell us what restaurant your family goes to for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. We go to a nice restaurant.
Okay. A nice restaurant.
Yeah, maybe there's seafood there.
So Long John Silver's.
Of course. I got to have the hush puppies. That's what I'm thankful for this year.
All right, so what I want you to guess is, and I'm going to give you the percentages as it goes down, or the ranking of the sides, but the number one side, and I'm not saying this is green bean casserole because that was the most Googled side. This is about what you go for on the table, the first thing you go for after you have turkey on your plate. What's the first side you go for?
It's got to be stuffing, right?
Ugh, I'm so out on stuffing. I've never had... I didn't grow up with stuffing. We didn't have it. And I think stuffing's a waste of the space in your stomach and on your plate and on the table.
Why is that?
Because why not just have... I'm not saying this is it, but why not just have more mac and cheese?
Because I like stuffing more. I'm not a big mac and cheese guy.
You like stuffing more than mac and cheese?
100%.
You may have to be deported. I'm not kidding.
Not deported.
Well, listen, we're going to have the actual first side you go for on Thanksgiving. You can guess at 312-591-8300. You can text him. We'll have that coming for you with the fact in 5 minutes.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
All right, time for a fact that makes your brain go. And it's still in the Thanksgiving-related world of food. Yesterday, it was about green bean casserole, the most Googled side for Thanksgiving in Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Now, that just is about Googled, I assume, for making recipes or trying to figure out, because someone always says, all the sides are taken, you got to bring a green bean casserole. Well, you just find yourself then all of a sudden having to make it. But this is about the actual side that is right after the turkey that is number one on the table 6 days from today here in Illinois and Chicago. So, obviously, turkey's number one, 84%. Now, before we get there, you guys guessed a lot of things on the text line. Let's go to some of your texts here first. In case, what do you got?
Well, you trashed stuffing because that was my guess. And Rose in Wrigleyville she said, Brian, hear me out, which I know you love when people start with that.
Hear me out. It's going to be a great argument after that when everybody says that.
Rose said, hear me out. Normal stuffing that goes in the turkey is trash, but stovetop 5-minute stuffing is really good and definitely full of all that processed stuff that you like.
I love processed stuff.
I love it. Well, I love preservatives. They preserve the food.
All the people that are going against preservatives and processed stuff, follow them on IG. They end up sick. They usually do because they're going against it. Embrace it.
Why?
Because I'll be like a cockroach. You can't get rid of me when the nuclear war and the zombies come.
Because at this point, you're made of preservatives.
Yep. As Kenzie said, lab the table.
Lab the table, that's us. Because I think Rose is right. I don't want the stuffing in the turkey. I want the stuffing on the stovetop and then as a side. I don't want anything in the turkey.
Well, I don't like stuffing, and I'll make that into consideration. Also, Liz checked in from Aurora and said, Case is canceled for saying he likes stuffing more than mac and cheese. Not even the baked mac and cheese case?
No, I'm a person that believes stuffing should be year-round. I think we should be having stuffing on the 4th of July at cookouts, on Labor Day at cookouts, on Memorial Day at cookouts. Stuffing is something that needs to be on the table 365 days a year.
Goodbye.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible. But listen, I'm willing to learn. Megan may make us some sausage stuffing to go with our filet mignon that my mom is making.
La-di-da.
Oh, it's going to be weird.
Oh, Thanksgiving with the Rockefellers.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Normally, I would count back upward in the sides, but I think I'm just going to go down this way. So I'll get you number 2 right out of the gate here. So number 2, after you grab the turkey on the table in Illinois and Chicagoland, number 2 is what I've always said, why we don't need stuffing. 69% of the people say mashed potatoes is what they're going for right there. Mashed potatoes. This is why you don't need stuffing, because you can always have more mashed potatoes.
I disagree with this logic, just inherently. They're two different foods.
Okay, hear me out. You take not just a little slab of butter, a chunk of butter, put it in the middle of those mashed potatoes and push it down. And then wait. Eat some of your turkey. Maybe have some conversation with your cousin you haven't talked to in a while.
So when I get to the table, that's when I should put the butter on the mashed potatoes.
100%. Before
Say
you sit
grace.
down.
I was gonna- before you say grace, before you sit down, because we do a big prayer.
Of course you should.
Yes.
Be thankful. In fact, I recommend sneaking into the area
Tiptoeing into the kitchen.
and putting the butter in your lump of mashed potatoes, maybe even 10 minutes before you sit down. You're still watching football, whatever.
Yeah.
Because when you get back, you're going to have this kind of volcano setup of mashed potatoes, and the lava is the melted butter in the middle. I can't even get through it. I'm getting so excited. I'm getting so excited.
You're like a kid on Thanksgiving Eve, so excited for your melted butter.
And then you just sprinkle a little bit of sea salt, the grinder sea salt, into that melted butter, and it kind of looks like little like flowers on the ocean. The little specks of salt floating in the melted butter.
Are there a lot of flowers on the ocean?
No, but in my vision of my volcano of butter mashed potatoes, it is.
Do you have chives on your mashed potatoes?
It's either or. I'm not going to be objecting to chives. It's a waste, but whatever.
Okay, but you'll move past it.
Okay, so this is why mashed potatoes, 69%. 69% of Chicagoans and Illinoisans. That's the first one. Next up is bread or rolls at 68%.
So my brother is a few years older than me, incredibly picky lifestyle that he lives. I don't even want to say eater. Everything about him is picky. He only drinks white milk and water. He doesn't have any soda. He doesn't have any alcohol. He doesn't have any juice. When he goes to the Thanksgiving table, he's not interested in anything other than turkey and rolls. And he'll pop the rolls in his mouth. He won't cut them open and put butter on them and make the volcano like you want.
Yeah.
He's eating rolls by the fistful.
Yeah, that's not good because it's taking up space in his stomach. You use the rolls to push everything together, and then at the end you eat that roll because there's so much great stuff on it.
I understand it's a great topper, if you will.
Yeah.
He's not interested in anything else. It's not his first Thanksgiving, Brian.
Well, he's rogue. He goes rogue on Thanksgiving. But you know what? He knows what he likes.
Yeah.
He knows what he likes. That's enough.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to give you the fourth most, and this is I have a side take on this.
Oh boy.
Number 4 is pie. This means 67% of Chicagoans at Thanksgiving dinner will eat pie as a fourth side during Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not saying you wait till afterward. I'm all for this, but not using pie, but a Portillo's chocolate cake.
Okay, so those are different things.
They're different things, but they have the same texture, meaning if you want that savory sweet combo in the middle of dinner, don't wait for dessert. Do dessert in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner. And so I'm okay with you going for pie or the Portillo's chocolate cake. I think it's a great thing. I think this is awesome that we're like this all together.
So your Thanksgiving again, you're doing a steak. So you're gonna do steak, mashed potatoes, cake. What's for dessert if a cake is a side?
Just more of all that.
Just more. Okay.
More of everything.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian Kenzie on Q101. A lot of people are checking in. Well, you got through 4 sides in that fact that made your brain go. It showed that mashed potatoes was a number 2 side, but you didn't get to where stuffing was. Stuffing came in at 5. So it was turkey, mashed potatoes, and then, wait, what was it again?
Oh boy. Fake news.
No, it was turkey, mashed potatoes, bread or rolls, pie was 4, and then stuffing. That's the order that people go for on the Thanksgiving table 6 days from today.
I don't even recognize this country. If we're going for pie before stuffing, we've gone wrong somewhere.
I think things feel like pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm a big fan.
Okay, so before the show, oftentimes we talked about My Chemical Romance at 8 o'clock. We're going to have a song scramble for you for the last pair this week of tickets for Soldier Field sold out. The entire tour sold out. And People may not know this about me in case, but when we get here at 4 in the morning and start working, we have this bizarre wormhole that we get into of all the concerts in Chicago, how much they've sold, where there's seats available in shows. It's a very unhealthy habit that we go through. And then we're going to play Cake here in about 60 seconds. And Case tells me he looked up the Cake concert at the Salt Shed, which is tomorrow night.
Yes.
Love Cake.
Love them.
Not just to eat, but for the band. So, Case tells me...
Oh, no, you got cake on the brain.
I want to eat cake right now. Case tells me of the tickets available. I said, oh, well, that cake show probably sold out at the Salt Shed. I bet. Great band. He goes, you know what? There's one ticket available.
Exactly one ticket.
I have never seen that in my history in radio and music and everything.
Because if you've ever bought tickets on the Ticketmaster website for any show that isn't just general admission, and for those that haven't been to the Salt Shed, there's a giant GA floor like there would be for the Aragon or another venue, but they also have reserved rows of seating in the back of the venue. And so all of the GA is sold out. All of the premium is sold out. And of the probably few hundred seated tickets that were available, all of them are gone, but one ticket in the front row on the stage left side, so the front row of the seated area, it's $253 for this one single ticket to Cake tomorrow night.
Now, it's probably so high because it's going to take, it's the last seat, obviously.
It's the last ticket.
So it's going to take a special person to go buy that one ticket and sit there. So they figure they probably have somebody of means at last minute might just say, I'm going to go and just kind of sit in there and check it out.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to go or not. What are the odds of that seat going by tomorrow night?
Look, I say this. Let me preface this by I go to a ton of concerts and I go to most of them alone. Going to Cake alone would be weird, right?
Because they're a fun band. You want to celebrate with someone.
Short skirt, long jacket. You want to bring a lady out there. I get it.
Yeah.
Guy alone at Cake is a weird vibe.
Or a woman alone.
Of course.
Now, if you're single, this sounds like a good thing to do. You're going to meet somebody in that row, and it's also a gamble. You don't know who's next to you in that row.
That's
I mean, but if you're a saucy type of person, I say you get that ticket and go, and then tell us Monday morning at this time. I wish we could just give it away. I could buy it and then give it away, but I've been spending a lot of money on dumb things lately.
What have you been spending money on?
Well, White Sox tickets.
Oh, that's right. We did send a listener to Detroit to go watch the White Sox lose.
I'm still paying for those on the credit card. I let them ride on the credit card. I didn't pay it off right away. Like $700-800. I've actually ended up over $1,000 with a hotel room I bought for the listener and all those tickets. So I can't do this one. I can't explain this one to Megan if I just buy that last ticket for Cake for a listener. What is it? To what?
$253. And again, it's not resale. This is just, for whatever reason, this is the last ticket that's available. Section grandstands, row A. It's the furthest seat on stage left. I love it. I love it. I want somebody to buy this ticket, and I want them to let us know that they're there.
If somebody buys it during the Cake song, call us and let us know. We want you to be our official Cake reviewer on Monday.
Please. Salt Shed's website has the ticket. There it is.
Salt Shed, Cake, one ticket left for the show. And to sell you on it, well, here's Cake right now. It's an awesome song. It's Brian and Kenzie and Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Okay, we have some breaking news here. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Before we get to Gil Curtis's headlines, we talked about there's one ticket available for Cake at Salt Shed. One ticket for $200 and what case?
$53.
$253. There's just one ticket left for the show. Never seen that before. And Case, what's the update?
The update is, one, there's two updates.
Okay.
Katie checked in. She's the listener we sent to Detroit to go see the White Sox lose.
Oh!
She is unavailable for Cake tomorrow night, so don't buy her the ticket. She can't go. Don't waste your money on her.
She's the one that I bought the tickets for, and I gave her a couple $100 flash money.
A little walking around money.
Wet the
beak a little bit.
That I'm still paying for. But Katie, love you. Glad you had a great experience. I do not regret sending White Sox fans to Detroit and all those games to witness, and they had to go to Detroit to do it, that history of becoming the worst team in Major League Baseball history. I do not regret it. Money's fleeting.
Exactly. You don't want to be the richest guy in the cemetery.
Damn right. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be the richest guy at a funeral looking at a guy dead. That's not going to happen. I spend too freely lately.
Well, somebody's going to be witnessing history tomorrow. because the one cake ticket that was available for their show at the Salt Shed tomorrow night, it was $253, grandstand row A, seat 15. Brian, I'm happy to report that ticket is gone.
Oh, my God. So just us talking about that one ticket available, somebody bought it. But the problem is they didn't reach out to us. So you got to please text us at 312-591-8300.
I think it was our friend Juan. Juan checked on the text line a few minutes ago. I'm just now seeing this text. He says that he bought the ticket.
Oh, my gosh, Juan. Okay, so Juan, you have to call up Monday at this time then and review a cake.
Juan's also married. Is he not taking his girl with him?
I just was thinking the same thing.
Solo to cake?
Oh, my God. Juan, you're the best. Oh, my God. That's hilarious. All right, here's Gil Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. American Airlines is expanding its crackdown on passengers who cut in line during the boarding process. And Spirit Airlines is cracking down on passengers who try to escape during the boarding process. Ellen DeGeneres announced she's moving to rural England. That story for those of you who might give a squat where Ellen lives. Netflix says the last season of Stranger Things will answer all of our questions. Like, how are people in their 30s still in high school? Daniel Craig will star in a movie based on the DC Comics character Sergeant Rock. And Russell Crowe is in talks to play his partner, Lieutenant Roll. This is not headline news.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.